Hey people in YouTube land, Zach Hall here. Today we're going to have a special Bible review for you guys. We've got the Humble Lamb KJV line that we're going to be looking at. And I will also be comparing it later to, I think, something that's close to it, the Skylar Canterbury. Give you guys an idea of what that looks like. So I'm really excited to show you guys this review again. If you haven't seen my shorts or my post, if we get in 5 days, 2,000 views, 75 likes, I will do a giveaway with a Humble Lamb for doing a paste-off liner in the choice of your color, and I will send that to you directly. So make sure to share this video. Make sure to hit the like button. I think we can do it absolutely. So just let's try to get that done. I just want to do that as a special giveaway if we can, and I believe we can do it. But let's see how many likes we can get on it, and let's see how many views we can get. But let's get straight in the video. So we've got this beautiful box that comes in. And Daniel did send this to me for free for review. And so what I wanted to do is I used it for a couple weeks and wanted to get an honest feel for it and kind of give you guys a really good opinion after using it for a couple weeks. I've used it every day. I've brought it to church. I take it to work. I'm about to take it on a vacation trip. I've studied out of it. I've written in it, highlighted in it. So I've kind of done the whole gamut of it to kind of give a good idea of what this thing's going to be like. And let me tell you, I am very impressed. I think this is a Bible that you're going to want to at least check out, if not purchase. So it comes in this beautiful two-piece box. It is a very sturdy box. This thing is very thick. Comes with a beautiful tape here with the KJV Lion logo on it. And then my copy is the lunar yellow. And then it's got some of the features here. I went with the black under gold art gilt, and that's because it mainly matches my channel colors, so we'll look at that in a second. But there's some information there. And then you've got a Humble Lamb logo and their website. So if you want to go get their Bible, that's where you would go right there, humblelamb.com. So let's get this guy out here. So look at that yellow cover. This is fantastic. And so as soon as I saw this color, I was like, oh yes, this is exactly the yellow of my channel. And then with the black ribbons and the black undergilt, I was like, yes, this is the one I want to go for. And I am very much a black cover Bible guy, but let me tell you, this yellow has definitely won over my heart. I don't have barely any other Bibles in any other color, and so I took a leap on this one, and I was glad I did, because this has become my favorite color Bible of all time. And one thing I love that Daniel does on these things is he puts, and this is, I think this is on the goatskin editions only. You do get it on the paste-off liners, but it's a different layout on the paste-off liners. So on the paste-off liners, you'd have like Holy Bible, King James Version, and then like or Humble Lamb, King James Version, the Word of God, and then their logo. On the goatskin editions, you just get this beautiful shot on the side. It says the Word of God, and I love that. I love it because it's more than just a holy book. It is the very words of God. And this is a minor detail, guys, but this is something that if you're going to go into that premium world, if you're going to try to, what can I do to kind of outdo the competition? And again, Daniel has a whole video on this with Tim from Nichols Worth of Bibles, I think. And he has a great interview with Tim on that. Kind of his thought philosophy of starting Humble Lamb, why he immediately went into the premium market. He had a vision for it. And so I encourage you, I'll try to link that into the description at the bottom. So if you want to see those interviews, kind of see where Daniel's coming from. I think he had a great vision for it when he got into this. So every little detail in this Bible you're going to see is purposeful. It is creative, and I think it kind of sets it apart from its competition. Now, I will say the yellow that you're seeing on the camera is definitely a little brighter than what I'm seeing in color or in person. The yellow I'm seeing is a little bit more like a fall harvest yellow. This is kind of showing up as like almost like a dandelion yellow. So do be aware, in different lighting it does appear different yellows, but mostly it's got a good fall color to it. And I'll kind of show you here. This is the Canterbury we will be comparing it to later. So this is purple, and this is yellow. So I think that gives you good contrast there looking at it. Now another area where the attention paid to detail, they've got perimeter stitching. Okay, it's done in yellow as well, which I like. Glad it blends in. They've got the spine raised tabs, 4 of them. Okay, this is leather lined. This is a very, very thick liner. It is awesome. Okay, and then where this again is going to separate from its competition, not only does it have a gilt line, Okay, like the Skylar Canterbury, which I'll pull over. Okay, you can see the gilt lines. But you also get this beautiful lion stamped into this cover. And it is just beautifully done. Well done. And then you get Humble Lamb at the bottom. Again, attention to detail. That is just awesome. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, these end sheets that he has in here are some of the thickest I have ever seen in my life. This almost feels like another piece of leather. That's how thick these end sheets are. They're not. They're a vinyl layer. But the vinyl is so thick. It is unbelievable. Very smooth. Does feel like leather. But it even makes this Skylar one feel very flimsy. And I'm sure that if you're out there and you have both of these, you know what I'm talking about. But that is a very thick liner there. That's going to hold up very well over time. It comes with this nice card, okay, just like all premium Bibles do. But it's very well done. Very minimalistic, beautiful, modern. And so there that is. These do come with a lifetime warranty as well. Get a nice presentation page. I haven't quite filled that out yet, but I will. Then you get this beautiful title page, the Word of God, Authorized King James Version. Love that. Then you get the same thing with their logo on it. And then this gives you their information, what is typeset in. So it's the Milo Serif. So it's the same font as the Skylar Canterbury. That's why I'm going to compare it to that. And then it's printed and hand-bound in China. Now, what I love that Daniel did, and if you go to their website, they go a little bit more in detail of this, but they've negotiated a fair trade deal with their printer in China. So their employees over there actually get paid fair, livable wages. And so, because I really try to stay away from Chinese-made Bibles. I know that maybe most companies negotiate that fair trade deal, but they're not open and upfront about it, whereas Daniel and his team is. It's on their website. They talk about how they've negotiated the fair trade deal, make sure that everything is, it's not a sweatshop, essentially. So I really appreciate that. Like I said, every detail in this Bible is thought out, and I really appreciate that. And then here you have thank you for making a difference. So if you purchase a Humble Lamb Bible, every purchase, Humble Lamb will give a budget Bible to someone in need. And again, if you go to their website, you'll see that these Bibles are going to India. Daniel did a mission trip out there, and those Bibles go out to people who do not have Bibles at all. And so if you purchase one, you're also, in a sense, doing missions. You're going to be able to send a Bible out to a country to someone who doesn't have it. So it's very cool. So here's a table of contents. And then you've got some of the extra features there at the bottom. So this does have 66 illustrations from Gustav Doré, and they are very beautiful. We'll see those. So here's about this Bible. And if you get this, definitely give this a read. This is essentially his whole philosophy behind this, is that you would engage more with the Word of God. He wants to present it in such a way, the Bible should be beautiful, it should be transcendent, it should take you to another world because it is from another world, and essentially raise your mind up to God. And so that's what he wanted to do with all the illustrations, with how it's presented, the goatskin leather, the beautiful art gilding, the text, the way it's laid out, everything. So if you get one, definitely read this. It's going to give you kind of a mind into what he was thinking. You do get the epistle dedicatory in 11-point font, so it's very easy to read. And you get the translators to the reader. Absolutely love that he included that in there. And again, this is in the same font as the Bible, so it's not hard to read at all. Okay, now this is cool. I actually missed this on my first couple of reads through of this. So this is a how to use the KJV line. And if you want to pause that and take a look at it, you can. But obviously if you get that, you're going to want to take a look at that. It's just going to help you as you get into it. Then you get a basic Old Testament title page, and then you're right into Genesis. Now, some of the features I love about this, let's get into this. 11-point Milo font, so it's a modern typeset of the King James. Love that. Trying to bring it to the 21st century, not trying to keep it back in the 16th or the 17th. And so I really appreciate that Daniel had that vision, because I was getting sick and tired of, I love the old fonts personally, but when that's the only thing on the market, it kind of gets redundant and old. So I really love this fresh layout. It's very beautiful. You've got drop cap letters that are kind of in a box with pointed corners. So I love that feature. Again, the details. Then you get your chapter 1. You do have your paragraph headings, but you also have your Pilcrow markers. So I appreciate that he left those in. and then you get your paragraph headers as well. Now, one area where I think he improved the Skylight Canterbury design, and I don't know if the Skylight Canterbury was his influence or his inspiration for the Humble Lamb, but I will say they are uniquely, they definitely have the same feel to it, same vibe. And if some of you out there have both, let me know if you kind of get the same idea from that. But one area, see, I like that he made the translators to reader the same font. In the Canterbury, it's a smaller font. It's still readable, but it's definitely a smaller font. Okay, now the font is the same. These are both 11-point Milo fonts. Okay, sans serif, so it's a modern font. You can see the Skylight Canterbury does the verse numbers in red. The Humble Lamb uses black, but we'll also see in this edition that the Skylight doesn't have red letter. The Humble Lamb actually has a blue letter, which is really stinking cool. Can't wait to show you that. But you see here, the Skylight keeps the Pilcrows. They have a little bit more paragraph headings. And at the bottom, you get your references. Okay. But these are tagged in with letters. Okay, these have letters. And then you kind of have this in a kind of like a paragraph setting at the bottom. So they just run across. What I love that Daniel did is that he divides this into chapter 1. And so you have all the references under chapter 1. And I'll show you what happens when you get to multiple chapters here. Let's see if I can. So you can see your chapter 2 keeps going until you get here to chapter 3. And then now you know these references are in chapter 3 only. Now these are also keyed in with little letters as well. Okay. And then the translation notes at the bottom are keyed with little numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then he also gives you, though, the verse numbers down here. So he gives you both. So here you've got the letters. These are notes. So you just see how many notes are in that chapter. So there's 25 notes in chapter 2 with cross references. And then you have to find the letter in the text and come down here and find the note. But on this, you get the new little number. So you see the 1 next to the 10, the 2 next to the 18, 20. So you can, as you're reading, oh, 1, okay, look down at the bottom of the page, go find it. But then he also gives you the verse numbers to go find it. So I find that really helpful when I was studying. I could use either way, and that was really cool. Okay, these both lay pretty flat. I'd say the Skylight lays a little bit more flat, but that's obviously because I've only had the Humble Lamb for like 2 weeks. So I'm sure once I break this thing in more, it will lay flat. Now we'll get you a general idea of the layout here between the two. Okay, so you can see a lot of similarities in the way that this guy is laid out. And so I think Daniel had a very good vision when he came in the premium market. He knew what he was doing. So you can see here there's some similarities. The book and chapters are in the corners. Okay, so that's the same. Your page numbers are in the top left and right corners of the page. Just like the Canterbury does the same thing. Okay, you have about the same margin space in both. And I don't know the differences on references. I don't know who has more, but I will say this. The Canterbury is nice. If I had the Canterbury, I wouldn't complain about having this referencing system. But I think Daniel's layout makes it a lot easier. And I'm not even sure. Just flipping through real quick. Yeah, I don't even think the Canterbury has alternate translations from the 1611 or alternate footnotes. Yeah, it looks like it's, and correct me if I'm wrong, it looks like it's just references. Yep. So this also gives you translations, footnotes, but also I love how he breaks it down between the chapters. That is so helpful when you're studying, so that way you know what chapter you're on. I'm trying to find one where there's 2 chapters on the same thing, but so we'll get in here. Look at this beautiful illustration with Gustav Doré. So you've got Adam and Eve leading the garden with the cherubim with a sword. And again, on his website, but this is a general saying as well, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and it's so true. I mean, you read about Adam and Eve getting kicked out with a cherubim and a flaming sword facing every direction, and yet then when you see a picture of it, you're just like, whoa, like that. I'm not saying this is what it was like, obviously, or, you know, Gustav Doré wasn't trying to necessarily per se, or, you know, present it exactly how it was, but this is a creative license on the story. It brings it to life. And I really appreciate that. It's very beautiful. And it makes this Bible stand out. Now, another reason why I went with the black under gilt, and I'll talk about this actually. I don't think it's black, which I think is great. I actually think it's a charcoal gray. It's a very dark gray. And I think you'll catch this once I get in here close. But the reason I did that is because the illustrations are in a charcoal gray. Okay, so look here at the art gilt. This is black. That's the liner. That is definitely black. So if you compare that to the art gilt, you can tell the art gilt is actually a very smoky or charcoal dark gray. I absolutely love that distinction. Now it's called black. That's fine. But I love the fact that it's charcoal. I love that you got 3 colors here. It's a very subtle transition. But then when they're next to the page, you don't have anything fighting right here. It's not like this is bright blue or bright pink or bright red to combat with this. This is a very subtle transition, easy on the eye, and it's able to keep the focus on the picture. So I really love that about the dark gray. So I did want to say that. You've got some captions here, so he actually puts the verse that this drawing is referencing down below it, so you can go find it in the text. It's always really close to the text. It's either on the same page or it's just like one page over. But he always puts it at the bottom, so you have it right there. And then the caption is actually in this beautiful blue that you see throughout the Bible. So this is Moses with the 10 Commandments. Very, very awesome. There are just some really beautiful pictures throughout. Now we'll go to the Psalms and Proverbs real quick, as that's where you'll see, I guess, probably the biggest difference between the Canterbury. Well, obviously, but I think the biggest difference is that the Canterbury doesn't have pictures, the beautiful illustration for Gustav Doré, whereas the Lion does, obviously. But we'll see here, this is a double column verse by verse layout. This is actually a single column verse by verse layout in the Psalms and in the Proverbs. So you can see there, just beautiful layout. I mean, really, it is. The Skylar has a beautiful layout there. Oh, excuse me. Okay, it's just single column in the Psalms. So Proverbs is not. So this would probably give you a good idea of comparison. So the Canterbury has a little bit more ornate and bigger drop caps. The Humble Lamb has a little bit more clean, subtle, but straightforward drop caps. So, I like both. I think there's room for both, obviously, but I do like the cleanness of this. I think overall this flows well with the overall design of what he's trying to do. Canterbury, of course, is just a standard. It's very beautiful. Both come with 3 ribbon markers as well. Mine are all black, double-sided satin. The Canterbury's are purple, a lighter purple than the color. Or cover, excuse me. So that's pretty neat. It's about the same color as the inside liner. So this is a premium Bible in all aspects, is what I'm trying to show you guys. And then on the paper, honestly, I've been playing around with this for a little while, and they're either exactly the same, which is kind of crazy from the fact that this is Chinese paper and this is a higher European Bible paper. But the Humble Lamb does feel slightly thicker. And I think that'll come out here as we're looking at yeah, you can see there's a lot more. And again, when I say a lot more, this is we're talking premium level here. There's a lot more ghosting in the Skylar because it's a little bit thinner paper than we have here in the Humble Lamb. So the paper in the Humble Lamb is just slightly thicker. Both of them are line matched. Okay, so you don't have to worry about inhibiting the reading experience there. But I did want you guys to be able to see that comparison. So the paper, kudos to Daniel. I don't know what he got over there in China, but this is fantastic Bible paper. Now let's go and get in the New Testament here, because this review is getting a little long. Okay, so we got a blue letter. This is unique. I hope you guys are still with me through this, because this is awesome. So obviously we know red letter, but what they did, again, this is attention to smallest details. Okay, he did a research project, found out that a lot more people are colorblind to red letter than they are blue letter. And so he said, well, why don't we switch it to blue so that way more people can actually enjoy it. And so this blue is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. It's the same color or a little bit toned down from the actual drop caps, but you can see the difference. Here's black, there's the blue. This is so easy on my eye. red letter pops off the page, which is designed to do, it's really there to accent the words of Jesus. But this does both. This accents the words of Jesus, but it makes it so readable. My eyes don't tire. They don't hurt when I look at this. It is so easy to read through the Gospels with this blue letter. And it is blue letter throughout. So you'll even get it in Acts when there's a quotation from Jesus and everything like that. Now, there is not, to my knowledge, and someone can correct me again if I'm wrong on this, but there is not a red letter in this Canterbury. I don't know if Schuyler has come out with a red letter edition, but in this one, there's not, which is fine. Typically, I prefer a black letter, but let me tell you, this blue letter has won me over to the blue camp. So I like blue letter better than red. I think this is very beautiful. This is the picture of the Samaritan arriving at the inn. So very cool stuff. Now I'll show you here. I highlighted in Luke, took a little note, but we'll look at Galatians as well, so you guys get an idea. So I used a gel highlighter. Wish I had them on me, but they're just a basic gel highlighter. Coating was great, going across, never skipped. Very smooth experience. Took a note in an 01 Pigma Micron pen, and I take this for granted, but for those of you that don't know, I'll show you the pen itself. So this is what it looks like. So you got an 01 Pigma Micron. It has a very short nib on it. I don't know if we're going to be able to see this. There you go. You can guys see the top, the little black. So it's a very, very tiny nib to take these notes. Now, when we flip this thing over, guys, it's like a magic trick. Boom. Highlighting's gone. You can't even see the note I took. That's how thick the paper is. And now it's not like wide margin level, but this is a very thick paper. So the highlighting you can't even see. Okay. And yet it's there, and it pops off the page when you're there. So you just can't ask for more from a Bible than that. Okay, look at this thing. Already got milk on the edges. It's been broken in. Family approved. Okay, some of the girls' milk fell on that. So that's what the other thing I was gonna say is, I was watching the interview from Daniel, and he's like, this thing is made to be used. It's made to be a battle tank. So he's like, essentially use it. Not necessarily abuse it. We don't want to do that with the Bible, but essentially use it as hard as you want to. And so that's what I did. So when it happened, I was like, all right, cool. It's breaking in. It's going to be used a ton. So that happened. And then I took a bunch of highlights in Galatians. And I'm going through Galatians again. And I will get all my highlights and notes transferred over eventually. But did some more here as well as I was going through transferring some notes. So you can see some different colors. There's blue, pink, and yellow. And we'll flip this guy over. And yeah, I mean, even to my naked eye, I can see blue kind of right there. I think that's blue. Yeah. So kind of see blue like a little bit, but other than that, I'm not seeing much. And then there's some notes that I put in right there. We'll see if we can see that. Let's flip that over. Right there. So you can barely see it. And it's even less noticeable to my naked eye than it is the camera. So it's pretty cool. I mean, this thing is premium level in all aspects. And honestly, that's why I wanted to compare it to the Schuyler, because the Schuyler's been the standard. It is the standard in premium Bible publishing, especially for the King James. The Canterbury was kind of like the granddaddy of them all when it came out, So it's beautiful. It's a great Bible. But let me tell you guys, this Humble Lamb is going to be here to stay. And not only that, I think it has a slight competitive edge to the Canterbury if you really get in this thing. It does not lack any premium anything. Okay? The Schuyler, to me, it doesn't beat it in much. I mean, it's in aesthetics, I guess. If you like a single column in the Psalms compared to a double column, well, that's an aesthetic thing. That's not necessarily quantitatively better. But the fact that this adds in the Gustav Doré illustrations, the fact that you get unique art gilding colors, so you get black, but they have a bunch of different colors. They have brown, green. They have a bunch of different colors that nobody's using right now. So they're really kind of ahead of the industry in that regard. I love the blue layout. Big fan of the blue. It's so easy on your eye. It's very welcoming. The blue letter is extraordinary. I love the fact that he's updated this reference system to give you the chapter breakdown so you're not confused where you're at. Everything about this Bible is user-friendly. And so every book begins on a new page too, so you can take some notes at the end of each book. I mean, I'm trying to think of what else I'm missing here, but I hope I'm doing this thing justice. You should buy one. I mean, this thing is amazing. So if you're interested or on the fence about this, hopefully I pushed you over in a nice way to the purchase side, because you're not going to regret this purchase. I mean, this thing, when I got it to, the goat skin, as expected, was a little stiff when I got it out of the box. And I'm telling you, once you use it, get your hands oils on it and just break it in, this thing has turned so, I mean, look at that. It just melts right over the edge of this Bible. So the yap on this thing, it's not huge. It's definitely a semi-yap, but it is so soft. And this leather has just broken in so well, just being used. It's buttery soft, but it's enough structure. You can definitely hold this thing in one hand. Let me show you that. Okay, easy. Look at that. It's not flopping crazy over my hand, so it's not too liquidy in the hands. Okay, this thing's got some structure to it, and so it's easy. It's 9 inches by 6, which is great for a premium Bible size. That's perfect. It's easy to carry around because of that. I take this thing to work. It drives with me in the car. It stays at the office. So it doesn't take up too much space. It's a great Bible to tote around, and you can hold it in one hand. So when you're at church, this thing doesn't even need to lay in your lap. You can just hold it. It's awesome. It's just great. Now in the back, you've got a 3-column concordance. This is, it's identical to the Canterbury's 3-column layout. And honestly, I don't know what font is bigger. Let me see here. Yeah, I think just looking at this up front, I would favor the Canterbury's layout maybe a little bit more. And the font seems to me to be slightly darker in the Concordance than the Humble Lamb. So it's a little bit easier to read. But both of them are a small font. I mean, this is like 6 or 7 point font. So it's pretty tiny. Now, I don't really use the Concordance as much anymore. So not a huge deal. But the thing is here, you do have a ton of entries. So, I mean, look at that. This is still the Concordance. This thing is thick. It's over 100 pages long, 3 columns. So it's a lot of material. And then you get actually Humble Lamb Bible maps, and we're going to show you why. These are some of my favorite maps. I'll try to compare these to the Skylar. Skylar has their own maps as well. And Skylar's maps are great. I don't have anything against them either. Beautiful maps. Okay. So let's get this out here. So you can see the Humble Lamb here is a little bit more basic in the layout on some of these maps. Okay. There's that. So we're going to go through some of these because I think, let's check this out. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Route of the Exodus, right? In the Sky of Canterbury. Nowhere are they crossing the Red Sea. Okay. Humble Lamb went ahead. They took that scholarly leap that everybody's afraid to do. And they're actually crossing the Red Sea. Look at this. Actually have a crossing. So I applaud them. That is fantastic. Very few Bibles. And it's true. I mean, after doing reviews for Goodnight, I think I've been doing it for 10 years now, which is kind of even crazy to think about. But 10 years of doing Bible reviews, I can count probably on one hand how many Bible maps have an actual Red Sea crossing. So I always appreciate that. But you can see the colors here. They're set to a cooler tone, so they're not very vibrant. They're not very in your face. They're easy to read. Nothing's gonna kind of punch you in the eye. So it's very inviting as far as the reading experience. But other than that, I mean, they're pretty much your standard maps that you're going to get in any other Bible. We got the Red Sea crossing, you know, the position of the 12 tribes, New Testament Jerusalem, missionary journeys of Paul, all those type of things are in here, just like in the Sky of Canterbury. And I think the Sky of Canterbury has actually more maps, so there's that. It also has an index to maps. I did not see that in this Humble Lamb edition, so, you know, again, if that's something that you do care about, there's that. And also you get like one blank page in between. I would like to see in future editions maybe a few more blank pages for notes, because this Bible lends itself to wanting to, I mean, I want to take notes in all the time. but then you run out of margin space. Whereas the Canterbury here in the back has some extra cardstocks, but you actually get note paper in the back. So I think that would be like the only one improvement I would give to the Humble Lamb. That's literally it. Is I would just like some note paper, and that's not even, you know, it's not needed. You can carry a notebook, you can do stuff like that, but I think it'd be cool. So give you guys one more look here at the Humble Lamb. Again, guys, let's do it. I think within 5 days, 2,000 views, 75 likes, I think we can do it. And we'll do a giveaway. Give away a paste off liner edition of this to somebody in the color of their choice. They have also more color selection in the paste off area. So it gives you a little bit more selection, a lot more colors, which they're really awesome. So go to their website at least and check out their colors. It's pretty cool what they're doing with the combinations of colors and art gilt. So I'm just telling you, the paper is so, I can't get over how great the paper is in this. I want to pick it up and read it just because of how good the paper and the font is. There's just no ghosting. It's so easy to read. You can just focus right on what's on the page. I'll give you guys an up close shot here, and then we'll sign off for the time being. Oh, let me check real quick, because I know a lot of you guys care if it is self-pronouncing. So let's go to Matthew. I don't think it is, actually, because I've been kind of playing around with Matthew and looking through it. So that might be one more comparison I need to make, though. I don't know if the Canterbury might be self-pronouncing. I think it is. I think the wide margin edition isn't. Yep, okay. So it's not self-pronouncing. So you kind of take a look at that. So again, doesn't bug me too much, but I know for some people that is very important. So I wanted to show that to you guys. And then I don't think I showed the New Testament title page, but that's just a basic page as well. So you get a little, you know, you could use this as a note sheet as well. You can get creative with that, but so yeah, let me check the Canterbury real quick. See if that is self-pronouncing. And maybe the newer editions aren't, but we'll find out here real quick. Okay, so you do have self-pronouncing in edition in the Canterbury. You guys can see there. So maybe we'll do a comparison of Matthew there real quick. And then we're going to end this thing. So I know it's been a longer review, guys, but I think it really, to do this thing justice, you needed to kind of see this in this light for sure. Get all the details so that way you can make a really informed purchase, especially compared to a standard Bible. So there you go. All right, I hope this review is helpful, guys. Take care and God bless.